2014 Forrest Wood Cup, it's my favorite event of the year. It's when the big stars come out and shine. I'm in the Rayovac boat now with Jacob Wheeler, and these big events, Jacob, there's something about you guys, I've talked about it all day, you go to another level. I mean, and it's not to say that you don't bring your A game all year long. It's just when you get in these and there's only 45, 46 guys and there's that amount of money, everything becomes different. You kind of mentally go to another place.
Without a doubt. I mean, the thing is in these events is you have a different mindset. You know, all year you fish conservatively a lot of times to get to this point. And now you're here at the Forrest Wood Cup, 500,000 on the line. You know, no one's ever won it twice. There's 5 guys in this thing that you know have won it before. So it's like who can win this thing and take home the hardware. And I think you just look at it totally differently. You know, you fish to win rather than to stay conservative and stay consistent in those points. So it's just totally different.
You've done it before. You've won one of these. And what I like is that guys come and they do their thing. Like you're going to see Andy Morgan do his thing here. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think he's going to be out here with a 4-pound test spinning rod. You know, guys come and stick to what they think is going to win, and they don't, you know, try and oh, I got to get some points. I need to go get one more keeper. They keep it to the floor.
Without a doubt. I mean, the thing is about these Forrest Wood Cups, normally these events are the toughest of the year because it's in the middle of the summer. You know, you're not going to get a lot of bites, so you have to fish your strength. So wherever you feel like, you know, you can get your 5 biggest bites, and where you feel most comfortable in getting those 5 biggest bites, that's what you have to go do. And so for some guys, it'll be fishing shallow. For some guys, it'll be fishing deep. Some guys, it'll be fishing brush. So it's going to be everywhere in between, and that's the coolest thing about the Forrest Wood Cup. There's 46 boats in this event, you know, this year, and now it spreads out the lake so much. You know, in a lake this big, 50,000 will swallow 46 boats up like nothing. And so you really can fish a lot of these areas by yourself. I mean, you have a lot of water by yourself. You're allowed to fish new water every day, and you're not fishing over and over, you know, behind a whole bunch of people. So it really opens up a lot of things, and it's probably it's the coolest event of the year.
That's what I think it makes it that, you know, if you can dial something up in a day, you can run it yourself. It's not like you have to worry about 100 other boats out there getting in the way, and if you can find that one little window and make it work, you've got the lake to yourself, more or less.
Exactly. I mean, you think about a Kentucky lake or a TVA lake. If you only had 46 boats on those, you know, fisheries, think about how we can rotate on schools. So it's very similar. You know, obviously, this time of year it's a lot tougher, but I mean, it's going to set up really cool. I think it's going to be an awesome event. It's going to be tough. It's going to be one of the toughest events you're going to have to fish. I mean, we're going to have basically from the weather 7-day outlook, it looks like we're going to have basically rain and clouds the next couple of days, and then first day of the tournament, you have bluebird sky. So, you know, it's going to affect these fish a lot. These fish might bite really well right now, and some guys are going to get some ideas. Hey, I'm going to be able to catch them really good doing this, and then all of a sudden the day of the tournament, things are going to change.
Yeah, Dudley calls them liars. You get days like this, and fish do things that they wouldn't normally do, and you think you're onto something, and it goes away.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. And you have to prepare for that. The best of the best, they prepare for that, and you have multiple different patterns going. You know, it's tough when you're not getting a lot of bites on these kind of lakes to develop patterns, but you have to have different things going on and constantly be, you know, have backup plan upon backup plan and be able to make adjustments.
Did you pre-practice here?
I did. I spent 3 days on the lake and really just rode around. I've never been here before, so I think one day, actually 2 of the 3 days, I actually burned like 43 gallons of fuel, you know, barely making it in every day, you know, with the Ranger with 44 gallons of fuel for the total fuel tank. So, I mean, I barely make it in. I run around the whole lake. I really got to see what I liked on the lake. And, I mean, there's a lot of cover. There's a lot of good-looking water, and there's a lot of dead water. So you got to really – it's hard to eliminate all this in 3 days. You know, you have 3 days of practice. The last day, we got to get off about 4:30, and so that's, you know, basically 2.5 days of practice. It's going to be tough to eliminate the whole lake, so you're really going to have to almost pick a section of the lake and roll with it.
Give me a real quick water level, water clarity, water temperatures, what you seeing, what you liking.
You know, the water stays fairly stable on this lake. You know, that's the one thing that I have made sure it was not going down or up. And that's a good thing. We've had a lot of rain. Water temperature's not like in the 90s. You know, we've had some cool weather. Today, the high was only 80. That's like unseasonably cool for this, you know, part of the country. It is going to get into the 90s later in the week. But watercolor. You have clear water down here towards the dam. You have, stained water up in the river, and you have some, in-between water in the mid-lake. So, I mean, you really have everything that you want and in a fishery, and it's going to fish all those guys' strengths. I mean, it's a pretty diverse fishery, and you're going to be able to do whatever you want to catch a few fish.
When you won the Forrest Wood Cup, jumped out to a big lead, got that lead going, and then put your fingers in it, held on to it. You think this will lay out the same way? Do you think somebody's going to jump to a big lead, or going to be more of a grind fest here?
I think that always, if you look back in the history, you look at Scott Martin, you look at myself, you look at Randall, we've all had big bags to win the event. That's a big thing. That momentum gets you going, and then you just take over from there. So yeah, I definitely think that you're going to have a big bag. You're definitely going to have a big bag one day to make it happen. But does it mean that that's the guy who's going to win this? Not necessarily. It could be a guy who can consistently catch 12 or 13 pounds, but I just don't see a guy being able to consistently catch upper 13, 14 pounds every single day for 4 days in a row. It's just going to be really difficult. So that guy who catches an 18-pound bag and then backs it up with 12, and then 13 is probably going to be the guy who wins.
That's the combination to win.
Without a doubt.
You would know about that. You've done it here at the Forrest Wood Cup. Here it is, Jacob Wheeler.